There's a storm brewing behind every rejection. Founders turning away from famous general partners isn't just a shift, it's a seismic jolt, shaking the core of an industry built on reputation, pedigree, and history. It's painful, it's raw. Because when someone with a big name and a golden track record is turned down, what's really being rejected is an old narrative that no longer holds water. Imagine hours spent crafting your pitch, opening doors to the so-called VIPs of venture capital, only to feel an invisible wall slam shut. It cuts deep. It's not just about money, it's about trust, respect, and vision. The founders standing in front of these general partners, promising worlds, are saying no because they're done playing by rules scripted decades ago by people who don't understand their reality anymore. Think about it. These general partners, despite their fame and institutional clout, often come loaded with baggage that founders can't afford. The baggage of outdated processes, risk-averse mentalities, endless committee approvals that strangle agility, hoping to mold a wild, hungry startup into something bland and safe. Founders don't want to be polished into conformity. They want partners who get the fire they carry, the raw, chaotic beauty of building something no one else dreamed possible. But what's happening now is a brutal awakening, a refusal to sacrifice vision and velocity for a brand name. The world's changed, fast, and founders are feeling it in their bones. The usual channels aren't enough anymore. They are poison for those hungry to break free, not glue to hold things together. The cracks are widening because traditional GPs are caught in a game they once mastered, blind to the new realities founders face. The founders' needs are not just capital. They need partners who will move as fast as the markets dictate, who will clear paths, not create obstacles. They want partners who see risk as a creative tool, not a liability to be avoided at all costs. They want GPs who breathe the same air of urgency, who don't just talk about disruption but live and bleed it. The painful truth is that in many cases, famous GPs have become comfortable in their thrones. They invest in what's safe, what scales according to old rules, what doesn't demand they change themselves. And founders, especially the exceptional, the rebel, the relentless ones, smell it the second the deal talk starts. It's a silent war between the old and the new. Founders are standing up saying, no more waiting, no more fitting into molds that suffocate, no more walking the path handed down by those who see vision as a risk, not a beacon. They're choosing to look elsewhere, towards those who understand that today's progress is not about managing mediocre growth, but about fostering radical leaps, about partners who are not answering to committees, but to their own will, their own sharp instincts. Partners who are sovereign in their decision-making, fierce in their conviction, patient enough to play the long game, but ruthless enough to strike when timing demands. Now, here's the hard part. This rejection feels personal to many GPs. It's not just a deal lost. It's a signal that everything they knew might be outdated, that their brand, their decades of success stories, no longer guarantee access to the best entrepreneurs. There's a quiet, simmering fear that the industry might be evolving without them. And that fear, if left unchecked, turns into defense. More rules, more gatekeeping, more repetitive, proven processes that founders spit out but don't trust. It's a vicious cycle. And the biggest casualty? Potential. Brilliant ideas strangled by the weight of legacy thinking dressed like expertise. So what's the way out? How can general partners break this cycle and become the partners founders choose willingly, eagerly? It's not just about chasing founders harder or adding more perks. The solution is deeper, more visceral, more... GPs must fundamentally rethink what being a partner means in today's world. It starts with radical listening, the kind that cuts through noise, ego, and old playbooks. Listening to what founders truly crave: autonomy, speed, alignment with mission, deep empathy for what they're risking. It means stripping away the illusion of control and creating space for founders to lead, while offering support that is inherently liberating, not binding. GPs must become sovereign themselves, not just in capital, but in mindset. This sovereignty means having the courage to question every assumption about investment, growth, and partnership, to redefine success beyond fund multiples and short-term exits, to embrace the long, hard journey of building ecosystems, not just portfolios. It means becoming critical thinkers who can see the metagame, who understand the fragile assumptions the old world rests on and are ready to transcend them. It means hunting for exceptions, not averages, and selecting founders and co-investors who burn with a fire that matches their own. No compromises, no comfort zones. Patience is the underrated weapon here. The worldly October reveals that eternity favors the long game. GPs who can live in that tension between biting urgency and relentless patience become magnets for founders who want to build legacies, not just startups. And this patience is not passive. It's active, transformational patience that supports founders through storms and doubts, not just celebrates wins. It's about practicing freedom ruthlessly, giving founders the room to fail, pivot, and rise without falling into the trap of micromanaging or gaslighting their struggles. This transformation promises something rare, a rebirth of alignment where misaligned brilliance becomes power, where the misunderstood founders find GPs who don't just fund, but launch, where difference is not erased but amplified, forging strength out of contrast and individuality. This is the new infrastructure the world demands, a network not of noise but of essence, not of many, but of the few who dare. Those few who shape outcomes by daring to redefine reality itself. When founders reject famous GPs, they aren't rejecting expertise. They're rejecting a system that no longer serves true brilliance. They're searching for connection. This is your call to action for every GP listening. Are you ready to stop serving comfort and conformity? To stop being the safe gatekeepers who squelch fire and instead become the liberators who empower the rare few to become unstoppable? To shed illusions and be real partners, journeying into the unknown with courage and grace? The founders turned away aren't lost. They are signals screaming for a new kind of partnership. The kind that transcends borders, systems, and old rules. The kind that doesn't just invest but co-creates. The kind that sees every deal as a spark in a relentless mission. And that mission is to unleash not just startups, but a new reality where individuals, founders, investors, visionaries become a force that shatters old paradigms and rebuilds from the edges. The choice is yours. Cling to the past or rise with the future by building bridges where none existed. Be the reason founders come running, not turning away. Because the future won't wait for those stuck in old stories. Its architects are those who dare to be sovereign, to think critically, to transform, and patiently persist. This is where power lives now, in the hands of those who refuse to accept the comfort of old myths and instead blaze paths into the raw, wild unknown. So, stop hoping that fame or legacy will keep you in the game. Start building the kind of impact that makes founders believe in you. Become the indispensable partner who doesn't just back ideas, but sets them free. Because only then will you witness what happens when rare sparks find their perfect kindling, and the world lights up in ways no one imagined possible.